If you want to be the fastest driver in Assetto Corsa Competizione, you need to pick the most difficult car in the game, which is the Audi R8 EVO2. In this video, I'm gonna explain how I'm a second off my normal pace and how I'm making an effort to fix this. I'm gonna drive this car the whole season on LFM and different ones, maybe pit skill, and I will explain what my findings are to get faster in this car and exploit this car to the max to be on pace in the field. Let's face it, if you can do it in an Audi, you can do it basically in every car in this game. Let's get into it. So this was the qualifying session and I really felt like I was on the pace. I had a great setup, the car was behaving in a way that I really like, and to my surprise I'm running like low 42s on Imola, which is like a second off what I normally can do. Yeah, on a good day I can get into mid 40s, high 40 lap times. So I'm really confused at this point, like how is it possible that I am so insanely slow? I was able to put a P8 here on this race, but that was because it was split 2 lobby, so I actually managed pretty quickly. Then 2 days later something strange happened again on the same race. I forgot the overlays here, but at some point I felt some sort of rotation in the car and I could hit my 40 lap times again, which was absolutely amazing. And this was a split 1 lobby, qualified P8, whatever. Let's look at the race start, and I'm actually like P8 it was, so I'm actually below my car number and I'm super excited for this race. I'm also a bit nervous because it really felt like I qualified faster than I should, but watching at this race I'm really competitive with an Audi, and there was some guy in front of me, also an Audi, but his ELO rating was, I believe, way higher than mine, and I was actually out-competing myself at this point, but I wasn't really slow, to be honest, and I'm gonna explain here what's happening with the Audi and how you can be fast in it. At some point, when you are trail braking into the corner, this is absolutely the best thing of this car. In a way, you can brake pretty late compared to the other cars, and there will be a lot of stability under trail braking and a lot of like desired rotation. But then there is a moment when you kind of have the transition from braking to the throttle or coasting, and then the car starts to oversteer in a super strange way. And if you're a beginner, there is a way to tune this out of your right, but then you get the present of like a nice present of immeasurably a lot of freaking understeer, which I absolutely hate in cars. So to get around this, we need to drive this car, this setup, in a little bit of a different way. So how I'm going to explain this: when we release the brakes, somehow you get additional rotation in your car, and when you're on throttle this will happen as well in a way, but now the yaw moment of the car is positioned in a way that you can go on throttle way earlier than the other cars in the field, and you need to use this to be competitive. Here I'm actually losing a spot. I'm having some consistency issues still because what I'm explaining here with the braking and whatever, that is actually pretty hard to do consistent, especially because this is my second race and I wasn't practicing a whole lot. So yeah, we're gonna move some more clips and we're gonna skip ahead to the boring parts. Now I'm here, I also believe I'm massively under pressure. I make a mistake here, the braking, I lose a position again, and I believe there was another guy. So yeah, I'm dropping a little bit in this field, but I'm still pretty competitive. And what is also important with the Audi is that you make sure you're not pushing it to first gear all the time, or be very like eager to shift down again. A lot of times shifting down can hurt your performance. You can really see here that I'm on the throttle. Obviously I had to oversteer here, and I'm also a little bit frustrated at this point. because I have this Aston Martin guy behind me and he is like pulling a dummy on me. I overbrake into the corner and I'm actually blocking here. It's very nice driving of his side and I'm like getting hit here. Also, I think it's also my mistake. Anyways, he overtakes me and then over here I mistake again. And like some people say that I'm a little like I can be cool, but I'm actually super frustrated at this point. So yeah, anyways, that's how I'm in it. Yeah, I'm really like obsessed in a way to get that result, to be in this competition and basically taking everything out that is in it, you know. So the laps continue and we go on and on. We chasing this Aston Martin, and in the back of my mind the Aston Martin is my all-time favorite car. It's also a very good beginner car, and I just know if I was in that car I would eat him alive. But I handicapped myself a little bit with this Audi to gain some experience and learn new things, because I really believe if you skip your favorite car every now and then, you actually force yourself into different driving styles, and that will make you a better sim racer overall. But I'm still pretty happy. I'm doing low 41s on race pace. I don't really feel the wear at this moment on lap 11. At some point we're going to pit. What is important when the tires are wearing, because they will start to wear, and I will also get into the setup later, how you can almost not change this, but the moment where I was talking about, like the car is like oversteering in mid corner, and we're gonna use that rotation to position the car in a way so we can go on early throttle. This gets more sensitive as tires are wearing, as the tank also goes empty, so that's a little bit of something that makes it even more worse to drive it. But anyway, I believe there are ways around it, and I really feel awesome in the Audi because I like the view in VR, how the car looks, I love the sound, and I love the fact that I'm basically always the only one driving it, which is pretty special as well. Again, you want to avoid the first gear a lot of times. You can use it for the braking, but stay on throttle and stay on the brakes, don't coast too much. And also on the curbs, it's not that friendly, but it is an absolute great car into the braking zone. There will be some rotation available to be on throttle earlier than the rest of the field, and that makes it absolutely yeah, that's the weapon of this car basically. Also, you never need to worry about wing settings. You can always run this car max wing. On Monza you will have a pretty decent top speed. Also on Paul Ricard and Mount Panorama you're not really suffering from the high wing setting. Now we're in the 25th lap of this split one race. I'm on P10 and I actually gained a lot of elo. I'm almost at 2500 elo at this point. I was going to expect that I was going to drop some elo, like 200-300 points in this car, but at this point I'm only advancing, and yeah, it's really good. I like it, it's playful. It's a lot of times when we switch to cars that we don't feel comfortable in the beginning, you can really feel like if you stick to it, you will start to appreciate your new ride. And also with setup wise, what we go into after this lap, I'm gonna show a little bit how it's how the setups, how I'm driving it basically. Another fact you want to consider, you can also drive this car with zero traction control, but then you definitely need to avoid the first gear. What you can also do is go for traction control setting 4, because from 1 till 3 there's not a lot of difference. I prefer 1, and then if I really wanted to be safe I would just go for 4, but just know that you're gonna really have an issue on the throttle behavior, and that's definitely for this car on throttle behavior. You're really gonna start learning that, because if you push it too much with the car still rotating, you just gonna suffer on exit. So let's get into that setup, shall we? Look at this monster. I really feel this is the best looking car, anyways, my opinion. So I made a bunch of different levels. I'm not gonna go into them, all of them, but I will show you this one because this one was I was using. Check out these levels. I put them in a Patreon store in a pack. If you want to be like a beginner or you're a little bit advancing, this is not for people who are super pro and alien. You probably know how to do this yourself. These values I stick to a lot of times, so there's quite some toe, and I would never go higher. There's not really any evidence that more toe will give you more wear, which is absolutely broken. But anyways, I feel this toe value really helps the back end stability, which was really lacking basically everywhere. These are the traction control settings that I used in that race. Obviously you want to have the 2 brakes for longer stints. You cannot see the fuel level because I'm showing this in hot lap mode, whatever. Now nobody cares. I will explain a little bit and also talking about this grip model and setup helper that I'm developing at the moment. But what this all pointing to, the back of the car, is just off throttle rotation with the preload, no anti-roll bar, which makes for extra traction, lowest wheel rates for maximum traction, lowest bump stop rates for maximum traction, and the bump stop range I use to balance the car out. What I found with different setups, if I increase this a whole lot, I don't really feel the effect when I want it, but it does get me a lot of understeer in fast corners, so we definitely don't want to overdo that one. Front wheel rates are pretty high, and the absolute downside of this is to get lock up on the fronts with this brake bias. Compare this brake bias with this wheel rates. We're gonna lock up in the slow corners, and this is a little bit of my shortcoming, because if I drop the brake bias, then I will get rid of this effect, but then I get that rotation of the car too aggressively in the mid and fast corners. So this is my handicap. This is what I need to work on. Yeah, so this is basically what I come up with. The high wheel rates on the front makes it more forgiving. We got rid of a lot of tire grip efficiency on the front with high wheel rates, which makes the car not bite into the corner so much. And we're also trying to reduce the oversteer in the mid corner with this value. Dampers, whatever. And this is the ride heights. Now, I also found if I increase the ride heights or decrease the ride heights, let's say this, I can get away with a little bit lower brake bias. So that could work for you. And you could also increase the front anti-roll bar even more to get more stability. Then it will be more safer than the setup I was presenting here. That's it, guys. Please hit that like button. See you in the next one.